Welcome to the reading of Midnight Howl, written by Claire Hutton, published by Scholastic. We are on chapter 8. All right, so we're going to start off with some emails. This one is to divagirl12@netmail.com. It says, Tasha, weird things are happening here. I can't really explain because all the facts seem like nothing. Haley has pointed ears. Her ring finger is as long as her middle finger, and I'm positive that she snuck out as a wolf. And I'm positive she snuck out the night the wolf was howling. Does this make any sense? It was a full moon, if that helps. I'm just going to say it because you're not here, and I can't say it to anyone who is here. I think Haley might be a werewolf, which is crazy, which is why I can't say it to anyone. Plus, I don't want to say it because I feel bad for Haley, who doesn't really seem to have any friends, and I don't want to make it worse by spreading rumors that she's a werewolf. Tell me I'm insane. I miss you. XOXO, Marisol. To Stargirl 1013. Hi, Marisol. You're right. You're insane. Which I warned you was going to happen if you got stuck in the middle of nowhere, but even I didn't expect it to happen so fast. If you seriously want to figure out if she's a werewolf, the only thing I can tell you, other than to get some mental health, smiley face, is that I was in a play about a werewolf last summer at theater camp. I can't remember if I told you about it, but it was called Full Moon Follies. I played Mira, who was eventually bitten by the werewolf and had to choose whether to become a werewolf or let a mad scientist try out this potion on her. I got to sing a solo and wore this completely fabulous slinky black dress. Anyways, in the play, werewolves couldn't go anywhere near Silver. It was like vampires and crosses. The werewolf couldn't even touch Silver without screaming in agony. If we hadn't the money for special effects, his hands would have been smoked too. But why don't you get her to touch something silver? Then after nothing happens, you can forget this. Or are you just kidding? Come out of the Valley of Many Mountains, Montana, and call me. I can't tell if you're joking on email. Miss you. LYLAS. Love you like a sister. Tasha. Okay, Silver. The idea of werewolves was still a little hard to believe, but I like to think of myself as a scientist, and that meant I should weigh the evidence and find out all that I could before forming an opinion. I tried to look up how to tell if someone is a werewolf on the internet, but it was really unsatisfying. What I needed was a sensible guide to werewolves in daily life, like Idiot's Guide to Werewolf Detection. But the top results from my search either just listed what Anderson had already told me, or were things like, in this Harry Potter book, Snape assigns them a paper on how to identify werewolves. And in this movie, the vampires can sense werewolves by their smell. It was like people didn't think werewolves existed in real life, which they didn't, of course, probably. That whole day I kept an eye on Haley at school. She looked very spacey and tired. At lunch, I waved her over to the table where I was sitting with Amber and Bonnie and Lily. Bonnie gave me a funny look, but none of them said anything mean to her. Still, all she did was yawn and smile and say very little. She ate like crazy, though, as if she was totally ravenous. I couldn't help but speculate. Had transforming into a werewolf taken a lot out of her? When I got home that evening, I decided to take action. Tasha's advice was the best thing I had to go on so far. So I rummaged through the little jewelry box that I had brought with me from Austin and found my old charm bracelet. I used to wear it all the time, but it was noisy and got caught on stuff, so I hardly ever wore it anymore. One of the charms was a silver star. I slipped it off the bracelet, took the pendant off of a necklace chain that was stamped with sterling silver, and replaced the pendant with a star. I went down to Haley's room and tapped on her door. This time when she opened it, she greeted me with a smile. We're really starting to become friends, I thought. What I was about to do would probably make her like me even more, unless she burst into flames, which I kind of felt guilty about. I liked Haley, but I was partly being nice to her to find out if she was a monster. Hi, she said, opening her door wider. Do you want to see what I'm doing? Sure, I said, and I followed her into her room. Tons Dozens of animals looked out from pictures on her walls. But with the lights on, Haley's room was actually pretty cozy. The walls themselves, or what I could see of them below the pictures and posters, were painted yellow, and her bedspread was printed with sunflowers. Against one wall, there was a desk with another big sunflower painted on top. Tiny bits of colors were spread out across the desk. As I got closer, I realized they were little ceramic squares. In the center was a half-dome mosaic made of tiny squares in a swirling pattern of blue and green. Wow, I said, that's beautiful. Thanks, she said softly. For English, we're supposed to do a response to a poem of our choice, and I thought this would be more fun than anything where I had to stand up in front of the class and present. The poem goes, "Strongly it bears us along in swelling and limitless billows. Nothing before and nothing behind but sky and the ocean." By Coleridge. These colors in the circles sort of make me think of the ocean. Yeah, I said. They made me think of the ocean too. I haven't been to the ocean yet, Haley said, but I'd really like to go. I definitely will sometime. I'd love to see seals in the wild. She grinned at me. I have something for you, I said, suddenly feeling shy. I wanted to thank you for, making me feel welcome here. You've been a star. I handed her the necklace. Oh, said Haley, surprised and happy. Thank you. She put it around her neck and she fumbled with the clasp. I moved forward to help her with it. I don't know what I'd been expecting, but she didn't burst into flames or scream in pain. The silver rested around her neck harmlessly. I'd returned to my room feeling pretty silly. But still, a little tickle of doubt lay at the back of my mind. The silver test hadn't seemed entirely scientific. And that's chapter 8.